Another brick fan with a Star Wars Microfighter. This is the Razor Crest. This is set 75321, was released in January 2022, has 98 pieces, one minifigure, and cost about $10 when it was released. This is the first Star Wars Microfighter released this year, and like most of the others, it's a small vehicle that has space for a minifigure. Obviously the minifigure is way out of scale from the Microfighter, but it's still, most of them look pretty good and very accurate to the actual Razor Crest. This one, I'm not convinced that it looks a lot like the Razor Crest, but let's go ahead and get it built and then we'll take a look. Here is the finished Razor Crest model, and I think it looks pretty good, although it doesn't scream the Razor Crest to me. I mean, the shaping here in the front is about right. These I do like these new stud shooters. I think they're pretty cool with the studs on the side that shoot out. So I think that's a little nicer than the stud shooters from before. So I do like that it comes with a couple of these new stud shooters. I think they're easier to load, and certainly they don't fall off like on the traditional style stud shooters. You can actually knock the studs off. I think these engines look good, although they should be up a little bit higher. Of course, we had to keep space for a minifigure here, who we'll take a look at in just a second. But looking around the ship, it does have that large bay door in the back, so that's a good touch, and I think it fits well with the model. This little ingot here and the grill pieces kind of make for some good shaping on the top, but having the minifigure compartment here kind of makes it too long. You know, where this cockpit here should kind of be back a little bit, and like I said, these engines should be up, but those are just nitpicks. I think it is a very nice little model. There is this good printed control panel here. Let's take a look. We do get a really good Mandalorian figure, so let's take a look at him. Here is the Mandalorian that comes with the set. And of course, he's wearing his full Beskar armor, so he's in the dark brown. Got kind of the nougat belts and weapons. Here, I like the shiny armor, the good Mandalorian helmet here. Of course, a small blaster pistol. Good bright shiny coloring down here on his legs as well. You can kind of see that metallic silver. Side printing with the other elements of his Beskar armor. He is wearing the jetpack here. The headpiece is completely blank, of course, because the Mandalorians are not supposed to show their face. Here is the back printing that obviously gets covered up by the jetpack. Nevertheless, it's pretty good. And of course, the other arm here has that same Beskar armor printing. So this is a really nice way to get the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor. Just as a completely unfair comparison, I'm going to put the large Razor Crest model back here to compare it. And I want to point out those differences that I was talking about. Notice how the engines on the mini scale size Razor Crest are up a little bit higher. So these, if they would have been up just a little bit more, probably would have looked a little bit more accurate. I think the tail looks about right, although it should be a little bit longer. The nose section, the stud shooters kind of represent these weapons here in the front. The curvature is pretty good, I think, in the front. And then here's just a hint of that canopy piece. Obviously, the rest of that canopy was taken up by a spot for the Mandalorian. Obviously, those are little nitpicks because I don't expect a set of this size. This is a $10 set versus a $130 set. So obviously the detail is not going to be anywhere near the same. But I did want to kind of point out what I was talking about as far as the differences in these two sets. Microfighters overall are a pretty good value. They're about $10 generally speaking. And they are generally a good representation of the vehicles, and certainly they come with good minifigures as this one did. So if you like Star Wars sets, this is a good cheap way to get a nice Star Wars minifigure as well as a good looking set. Hopefully you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Microfighter. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I left a link to my other Star Wars reviews up here on the screen.